Hey everybody, Tim here with today's review of Doctor Who story number 176, Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel, a two-parter. I didn't like it. I would say I hated it a little bit. Like, I had a lot of issues with it. Mostly because, for one, why do the Cybermen get a two-parter? Like, revamping them, making them super badass, when the reintroduction to the Daleks, it's like this little feeble, poor creature that they just beat up on. Like, that was a little frustrating. But realistically, like, I don't know. So I absolutely loved, I wouldn't say I loved this. I like the Cybermen a lot in the original series. Like, we get to see them evolve so much. Going from, like, when we first see them in the 10th planet, going through their evolution, and then, like, they actually have personalities as they keep going. And some of the most sassiest lines come from the Cybermen. So, and then now they're just emotional, blank, walking Daleks at this point. Like, that's all they do, is they just walk around and yell delete. And so I really don't like them. Coincidentally, this episode did air on the 40th anniversary of the 10th planet, the first time we met the Cybermen, which also is why Jackie's 40th birthday is going on in this one. But I don't know, like, I really like the 10th planet episode. That's one of my favorite first Doctor episodes. And I think the Cybermen are so well done. And they're interesting because they come from our solar system. And they're like the Earth's twin sister and stuff like that. And, I mean, they start to get a little bit from that lore as the series continues. Because if you want continuity, Doctor Who is not the show for you. But they do a pretty good job. For these, they went to a completely different dimension just to make these Cybermen, and I don't like it. I think it's kind of a cop-out, and it's a cheat. Like, okay, so if you went to this other dimension, like, are there other Time Lords? Why didn't he look for those? Like, it just seemed really odd that he had to go to a completely different dimension to reintroduce a villain that we already know. Like, we already saw a Cyberman head in the Dalek episode even. So it just seemed really, really odd to me. So like I said, we're in a different universe. There's Zeppelins. Pete, Rose's dad, is still alive. It's not Mickey, it's Ricky. Torchwood gets a mention once again. Magic word! So that's great. The whole thing where, like, the ship's losing power and he's holding it, and he's like, I'm losing 10 years of my life with every second I hold this. And I was like, what? Like, how does that, what? So, stuff like that kind of bugged me a little bit. Mickey and Rose leave, and honestly, like, as a writer, like, when Mickey and Rose parted ways, I would have had the Doctor go after Mickey. Because I know that's the whole point, like, he's in love with Rose, which is part of the reason I hate Rose. And Mickey even says, like, I'm going to leave because I know you're going to go after her, and you're not going to come after me. And sure enough, he does. I think it would have been a more interesting, like, twist if he had gone after Mickey and been like, no, I need to go after you because as much as I love her, she's competent and, like, taking care of herself, and you're an idiot. So, I'm going to go after you. But, I don't know. The whole thing seemed very, very cliche. Cybus Industries, okay, not compatible, deleted. Like I said, they're just walking Daleks. Part 2, Angela Price seemed kind of like a worthless character to me. Like, they went out of their way to say her name. And I was like, is she important? Like, I don't remember her. No, they just really emphasize her name. So when he's like, look her up, you know who she is. Which anybody who would have watched the episode probably would have remembered her in the last 20 minutes. So it seemed really odd. Jackie as a Cyberman was oddly satisfying because I hate Jackie. So I was like, okay, done. And then just like, let's kill them before they can kill anybody else. Okay, sure, why not? Finally, when Mickey stays, I hate Mickey, so I'm like, I don't really care. Like, okay, bye. So, honestly, at first I thought it was actually Ricky pretending to be Mickey, but it's not. It is Mickey presumably staying, but I don't know. Either way, like, this episode just more frustrated me than it did anything else. So, curious what you guys think. Go ahead, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time for the Idiot's Lantern.